starts working on a project and then gets a feel of it, commands are the only thing that an institute can touch and give enough time for polishing those. Some of the aspects most affected by proper software management or understanding some of these needs are the visual quality of the drawing, consistency in documentation. Abhishek, I would like you to keep pace with me. And then of course, system-driven tasks. If we talk about visual quality of a drawing, we're talking about hierarchy and visual importance of elements completing a drawing. A drawing is completed by the drawn elements of, if we go straight away to the facts, walls, columns, doors, clusters, the flooring detail, or if you're doing a section, then wall, slab, beams, all those things. Then of course you have other things. You have text and graphics complementing and supplementing information, adding information onto that. You have then the hierarchy of line weights, which helps us, which has been a system derived and devised over ages for people to understand what is to be read first, what is to be read next, and this hierarchy has to be maintained. And then of course hierarchy of annotations or labels or text. You have a section, a symbol for section, a symbol for elevation, a symbol telling that there is a revision in this drawing, a text talking about some sort of specification, all those things. Then of course we have consistency. We're talking about every drawing should have similar treatment if the information is similar and the scale is the same. We're talking about consistency. If two things are the same, then they have to be treated in the same way. If that is done, that is what is meant as the consistency. So we're talking about consistency in the line weights. We're talking about consistency in the dimension styles which you will use in any drawing to complete the information of dimension. You talk about the consistency of text type and size. So if there are two drawings, both are section, both are in 1:50, then the consistency is that in both the drawings, the line weights, the text heights, the dimension styles are used as the same, then that is meant as the consistency that you are trying to follow in your drawings. Symbol types and size. Now, as I see, in an architecture design process, there are two categories in which I can put the tasks. One is the person-driven task and the other is a system-driven task. Like I say in class, if I give a design problem to 40 students, 40 different designs come at the end because the solution is person-driven. It is not system-driven. A person's own approach, style, his or her own importance to a certain element of design gives a difference in the design. But then there is a lot of work that can come under system-driven tasks also. You have similar situations whenever encountered shall be resolved using the same system. I talked about you're making a drawing, if you are there in the same scale, then same font, same dimension style, same text height, everything. This is a system-driven task. Many times we also see, I see as a teacher in the students' work, this task becomes person-driven. एक drawing बनती है, उस drawing complete हो जाती है, वो रात के 12 बजे तक उस पर काम करते हैं, और फिर चूंकि अगले दिन सबमिशन है, तो इमेजिनेशन का रात को 12-1 बजे तक उसके शटर खुलवाते हैं, और हाफ शटर में सचिन और नितिन वहां बैठ के उनकी ड्राइंग्स फॉर्मेट करते हैं और उसका प्रिंट निकाल के देते हैं, और वो उसके हिसाब से ड्राइंग निकल के आती है, किसी सिस्टम के हिसाब से नहीं आती। मैंने आज तक किसी स्टूडेंट को एक रेडी टू प्रिंट ड्राइंग देते हुए नहीं देखा है। वो मेल से भेजते हैं और वो सारा फॉर्मेटिंग करता है, वो आपकी ड्राइंग निकलता है। कई बार मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि थीसिस के बाद मैं डिग्री सचिन और नितिन को दे दूं, क्योंकि हम उस चीज में जाते हैं. So there are day-to-day regular situations related to drawing which we might see, which are related to documentation, how we are documenting stuff on a drawing, how we are producing stuff on a drawing. जब एक ड्राइंग बन गई उसको हम प्रोड्यूस करके निकालना चाह रहे हैं हार्ड कॉपी और एज अ सॉफ्ट कॉपी, उसमें क्या आएगा? अभिषेक. And then how are we managing our information which is there? You have loads of information at the end of a project. How are we managing that information? I standing here, I am not going to tell you how you have to do it. You are the most appropriate person who have been doing it very nicely, I am sure. My only intention out here is to let the students and maybe the fresh architects know that this is not a very simple issue. This is not something which should be taken lightly. You have to have a very serious outlook when you are going through all these things. These are different from the regular situations which I have called as person-driven tasks. I was having an experience of 2 years and I was able to see that there are a lot of firms around the world who have a printed document that controls their CAD book. And this is called either a CAD standard or a CAD manual or a CAD reference guide. It's a printed document which spells out a lot of things regarding some of the mundane issues of CAD. So these firms are like SOM, FX Power, David Easton Incorporated. Harvard University Planning Department also has its own CAD manual. DFD is one of the firms, and University of Technology Sydney also has this. I have all these manuals with me. I do not have that manual out here, but I have all these manuals with me which I was fortunate to get and go through them. Next. Now, after this I am going to talk about just the typical format of these manuals. It starts with the purpose of the document. Why do you need this document? It starts very clearly. It's meant for what? It's meant for reference, it's meant for training, it's meant for training the fresh architects, it's meant as a ready reckoner whenever you are in trouble. Do not take your own decisions on that. It's a description of standard procedures given as a prose or instruction. So there's a lot of headings, subheadings and sub-subheadings where everything has been covered in detail with examples to let a person know that this is how you have to tackle a situation. You will not deviate from that. You will not take your own decision. Don't make it person driven. Go by this system only. Classifications or clarifications are given with examples. Examples are in the form of images, screen captures. Examples are given as a task, as a training task. Do this first, second do this, then open this folder. After this, pick up this file, name it like this, save it here, into that procedure. The document acts as a ready reckoner, a reference. Anytime you are in doubt, anytime you have a new person joining the office, anytime you think you have encountered a situation where you don't know what to do, the document should be able to help. If it does not help, then of course it needs the next step. Generally, it's not a very thick document. Average pages are 20 to 30 pages only. The biggest document which I saw was that of 50 pages. But mostly they were between 20 to 30 pages, in which most of the CAD issues which we'll see in the subsequent slides have been mentioned and something has been dictated. This is how you have to follow that. And it is constantly updated because there is somebody who is owning that document. Somebody in the office has been given the task, you own this document. Whenever something happens, whenever some update is to be done, this is the person you have to tell, and he is going to update this for you. Now some of the slides, the subsequent slides are just the examples of the type that the shape that is given to various topics in these manuals. The topics covered are something like project directory and file structure, drawing template, text styles and fonts, dimension styles, policy on modern space and paper space, file naming conventions, standard list of layers, layer usage for various types, output, and this goes on and on. And one of the manual also talked about etiquettes when you are sitting on a system. You will not get food on this table, you will not smoke there. They have gone up to that detail also. It's all up to the office to see if something is a bad practice or something is a practice you would like to curb, you would not like to start. If you think that you are so finicky, maybe that can become part of it. Point I'm just trying to make out here is, they don't leave it as a very superficial document, they have made it as a very detailed document which has to be referred. So this is an example of one of the content pages which I took. The first one was on general, which talked about so many things up to 1.4.4, and then if you go to the next slide, the content got right up to 2.29, where it talks about various issues, line type, annotation, text styles, drawing dimensions, standard symbol, hatching, scale, hold. They are trying to cover as many things which they think are important in standardizing some of the tasks which should be done that way. Talking also about viruses, drawing file format, purging, auditing, compression, etc. and appending. Everything is here. This is now one of the examples. The maximum pages are taken by a list of 4 to 5 pages, which is a complete list of layers which you should use. Most of these layers have been derived from AIA standards, American Institute of Architects standard, that has a prescribed manual which gives you how to name. And in that, if you see the detail, it talks about the layer, the color, the line weight it will have, the line type, and description goes up to that. Nothing should be drawn on this layer. So these descriptions are so precise, these instructions are so precise that if a person, especially in a larger office, the boss may not be able to, or the next person in charge may not be able to always check all this. And you may not be able to put or pin up responsibility on something which has gone bad. Amok sir ne mention kiya tha drawing quality. This is also part of drawing quality. And how do you pin up somebody in the office, pin responsibility, aapne aisa kyun kiya? When there was something already prescribed, is tarah se isko karna. If you search AIA layer naming convention or net, you will get this document. It's a 100-page document which is AIA CAD layer guidelines, and it gives everything about how you start naming various layers for a project. I'm not an expert in that system, but the limited experience that I could see, in their case, the construction is, and the elements in a building are so many, there are so many assemblies involved, and each assembly has so many other units involved. For them it was very necessary to have a detailed list of layers. We have a wall which is brick, 8 इंच की दीवार है, 4 इंच की दीवार है, या फिर एक चिपबोर्ड का एक पैनल, एक दीवार है. उनकी वहाँ पे दीवार का अगर आप एक सेक्शन देख लेंगे, तो मैंने जब पहली बार देखा था तो मेरे को यही लगा था कि मैं ये कहाँ आ गया और मैं क्यों आ गया. I am going to fail out here because it is such a detailed section and so many elements involved in that. It was very difficult. This I just took as an example that there is an agency out here which has prescribed certain norms, and these are guidelines. These are guidelines. You can follow them, you need not follow them. But again, if the total society and the fraternity is going through this part of the practice in an organized way, why not? There is nothing wrong in it. We are not being creative by creating our own layer names and our own systems. No. We would rather be more creative when we are doing our task. That is more important for us. So it's not, let us leave all these mundane things for a system which takes care of it. Let us not get into that and put our mind only on the creative stuff. Abhishek. They have detailed out as the folder system that has to be followed, and it's there as such a picture, as such an image in that manual. पूरा डिटेल में दिया हुआ है, किसी को कहीं अपनी तरफ से अकल नहीं लगानी है, अपनी तरफ से डिसीजंस नहीं लेने हैं. This is how you are going to do it. list of keyboard shortcuts for the software. हमको आदत होती है, मेरे को आदत है, मैं अपना जब भी अपना SketchUp का मॉडल कोई अगर जब नया इंस्टॉल करता हूँ तो मैं अपने SketchUp के शॉर्टकट बना देता हूँ. वो मेरे को मालूम है कि क्या है, वो मैंने अपने हिसाब से की हुई है. मेरी उंगली किस कमांड को मैं ज्यादा यूज करता हूँ तो मेरा लेफ्ट हैंड की उंगली वहां पहुंचनी चाहिए. फाइन, वी हैव ऑल डन दैट, वी ऑल डू दैट. But then the office does not want you to sit in their time and their money and their resources and make a chaos of their system. So they have their own list. This is a complete list of 3 rows, something like this. Command key, command key. Everything exhaustive list has been given as part of that manual. Those 30-40 pages, and you have to follow that only. Because कई बार आप एक सिस्टम पे होते हो, नेटवर्किंग पे आपका सिस्टम है, आप किसी दूसरे सिस्टम पे जाके किसी से डिजाइन डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, तो you would also like to use the same shortcuts. So I'm sure you have been using that, but it's just for fresh architects and students to understand that when you're going to an office, when you're going to a large